All right, y'all. I've been procrastinating making this video. Right now I'm at work making guac. I figured if I had time to talk, I got time to record, so that's what I'm gonna do. This is my first video, kind of nervous, but it is what it is. This is about to happen, man. I seen last year it was going up. Everybody done seen this man one way or another, looking one way or another. But I don't know if they're telling the truth, but I know I am. Um, Well, the first time I seen him, I was probably about 8 years old, and I was living with my mom, my aunt, her boyfriend, my two little brothers. My aunt, me and my two little brothers were in one room in the apartment, and then my mom was also in the apartment in another room with her boyfriend. It was a hard time. We were struggling a little bit, but you know, kids don't realize until it's too late what they was going through. But during that time, my mom was working dead end job, still in nursing school, getting her shit together. My aunt was a CNA. She works a lot too. Uh, I think it was around my third grade year, summertime. I didn't realize what was going on in my life, what was going on in my life. I didn't know I was stressed. I didn't know what to call it because you know kids they just go with stuff. They know stuff don't feel right, so but they go along with it. But that's the first time I seen them. I was asleep. It was a Saturday. We watched Mad TV, and I remember going to sleep and seeing him. Wait. In my dream, it was during the daytime, and I could see him in my window, but he was inside my house. He was see through, and I could see the light shining in on him from the window. So I didn't think nothing of it. I woke up and went about my business. So as the summer went by, it was starting to get a little hectic. My mom was getting tired of her boyfriend. He still wanted shit. Her boyfriend ended up pawning in my Game Boy, and that that set me through the roof though. And that I would say is probably my first time ever feeling like I don't know betrayed to that point, and it did cause me stress. I had ever since then I was high strung, had headaches and everything like that. But you know it is what it is. I got through it. So yeah, as the weeks went by, I was seeing him probably about once a week, and nothing really ever happened. He was just in there. Now I don't understand why he was just there. So as I kept going through the summer, everything was just fine until my cousin spent the night. Now that's my favorite cousin, it's my homegirl, ride or die. She spent the night, and he decided to walk towards us. Now that scared the living daylights out of me, and I don't understand how she was in my dream too. But it is what it is, in the exact same position we was laying in. So he decided to walk forward, scared the shit out of me. I woke the fuck up. I ain't about to stay there. Um, that's what that was for that. It only happened one time. She was only there for a little bit, and she ended up going about her business. But then when my aunt switched shifts, she started to sleep with us, not like in the same bed or anything like that, but we'll be sleeping, she'll be asleep at the same time. My bad, I had to give them some gravy. But no. So she started sleeping the same time we did. So oddly enough, she'd be in my dream too. At first he was just standing there and he didn't have no face, didn't have no eyes and shit, but you can tell by the silhouette of somebody where their head is pointed to. And that was it. So it was getting closer to the school year. My mom put her boyfriend out. Of course, my Game Boy was gone, never to be replaced. My mom was stressed out because she's about to start clinic. Well, she just started clinicals, and if y'all don't know what clinicals are, that's basically where they want you to work for free so they can see if you work good. Which I really think is slavery. I ain't with it, but it is what it is. Um, yeah. So everybody in the house was tense. My aunt was working a lot more hours, trying to help with my mom, keeping up with the bills and everything like that. and she was watching us too while she was off of work. She'd get off work, watch us. She'd give us an allowance and everything, and she was just doing what she needed, doing what she needed to do to help us. So it is what it is. Um, but the week before school, I seen him almost every night, and he didn't move. We just looked and stared at each other, I guess, what you call it. But he started to inch a little closer every time, though. He got bigger and bigger. My aunt would still be in my dreams. My little brother was never there, which is awkward because we slept like right next to each other. But as he got closer and closer, I one night I was just like, what do you want?" Because at this point, you about to be like on me, like is him in the window, me laying in front of the window, and then like shoot, none but space and opportunity. And I asked him what he wanted. He ain't say nothing. I woke back up, and I was like, next time I'm gonna keep asking him until I find out what he wanted. As soon as I started school, it got a little hectic. So I went to what's that? A magnet school. I was finally in a school with kids of my caliber. I don't know how to explain it. They were smart. I was smart, and I had some real challenges going to that school. The school, and it was still easy, which is weird. Learning was fun. I had a teacher that like Miss Frizzle. She was the shit, and everything was going nice. Well, my mom boyfriend ended up coming back, and this time he was worse than ever. Um, I really he got locked up, but ended up not having a place to stay. My mom, being a soft hearted like she was, gave him a place to stay again, which was stupid, but she was in love, or she felt bad for him because I really don't feel like she was in love with him, but it is what it is. And he got even worse, so he started stealing shit, came up missing. I'm talking about TVs, the VCR, all that. And then during that time, I was seeing my mom stressed. I was stressed. My aunt was stressed, and everybody was just tense. And my aunt literally a couple times followed up with him, was ready to put him in the ground. It was gonna be a situation. But when kids watch that, they get a little stressed. So he started coming more and more frequently. And I'm telling you, he not a shadow no more. This dude was damn near a full embodiment. No light was coming through him in the window or nothing like that. And then he kept inching closer and closer to the point where I used to wake up and he was in my face. He still had no face. Oh well, you know, if he was ugly, he was ugly. He didn't want to show me. But yeah, to the point he was in my face. And I tell you, it it started getting ominous. It started to scare the shit out of me, though. I ain't even gonna lie. To the point where I was holding my pee in order to go to sleep. So anytime I got scared, any little flinch I would do in my sleep, I would wake up and have to go pee. That's how I wake myself up. But eventually I got tired of it. And I kept asking, like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Well, crazy part is he inching getting closer to me, and I realized I don't even really think he want me. Because even though he was in my room, he was in my face and everything like that, his head would always be in the position of my aunt. Like, I'll be laying on the floor and I'm thinking he's looking at me. Well, with somebody without no face, you can tell where their face was at first. It was kind of cocked towards me. I guess I had his attention, but shit, after a while, it was just on my aunt. And he would not, he was paying me no attention. So eventually, I got help. I don't know what it's called, like lucid dreaming or whatever like that. But my dreams got more lucid as I went, I was going, ooh, I was going through it. School was challenging. My boyfriend wasn't shit. Then he started getting abusive. My mom in school, she's stressed out. I ain't had her to talk to. When winter was rolling around, we couldn't play out with our friends. We had no outlets, and I was literally going through the shit. And I was having crazy ass headaches to the point where I would just pass out sometimes. So, with all that going on, I started lucid dreaming to where I could move around and do whatever I wanted to in my dreams to the point where sometimes I couldn't wake up. So one day, one night, that dude popped the hell up. Now I'm telling you, I'm at this point, I'm fed up with the world. I'm fed up with life. I don't give a fuck what's going on. And instead of me just laying down, I stood up, got in his, not really got in his face, but got in between him and my aunt's bed. He was just staring there, just standing there. And I'm like, what do you want? He won't say nothing. So this time I took a step towards him, and that was the worst shit I could have ever did. I stepped towards that motherfucker, and I kid you not, he showed me every woman in my family dead. He showed me everyone in my family dead. And I was shook. I was shook. I don't know what the fuck was going on. And my heart was like broken. Because I'm talking about not just my aunt and my mom. I mean my grandma, my great aunts, my cousin, and everybody. I was like, damn. Like he took it to the extreme. So Christmas rolled around. I didn't see him for a minute though after that though. And I wasn't sleeping well, but Christmas rolled around and we had to go to my uncle's house. We had an ice storm. Everybody's life was out. And me and my mom were at odds because my brothers were misbehaving. And since I'm the oldest, um, I'm when with the oldest child, you always in charge no matter what. Give me your kids for real too. But I had to discipline them a couple times, but then she didn't want me to discipline them and shit. So she had went off on me and shit. So I was fed up. I cussed back at her. I said what I wanted to say and went about my business. And then my aunts being old school black women. So what happened was me and mom got into it. I ended up storming upstairs. My aunt was like, you shouldn't talk to your mama like that, this and that. And they was trying to get on my case and shit, but shit. I was tired of taking care of the motherfucking kids or trying to be the older sibling trying to show them the right way, and I just get in trouble for it, so fuck it. So I went upstairs, fell asleep, and that motherfucker showed up right there in the fucking house. Now, this is a different house. This is my uncle's house. And we was not in my house no more. So at this point I realized like this ain't nothing, this just ain't a recurring dream. This ain't nothing normal. Even though I kinda had hints that it was something else. I ain't know what's popping off. So I'm in bed, laying down on my aunt's bed. Now this thing ain't comfortable. And I see him in the corner facing the other way, like his face was inside of the corner, like he was in timeout type shit. But all I could hear was murmuring. And I was like, I was fed up. I was mad as hell too. I was like, man, I don't know what the fuck you going through, but you need to go on about your business in so many words, as much as a kid can say or think, because I don't know. I don't remember having like audible words at that time. He ran around. He not ran around. He turned around and ran up on me. He set up on me, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "What the fuck?" Man, he scared the shit out of me. I ain't even gonna lie. I could have, if I would have peed in my sleep, it'd have been up. I ain't give a fuck then. I was trying to survive. He ran up on me. He was like, "Now I'm here and I can see them." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I did realize everybody that was in that dream was there, every woman, including my uncles. But in the dream, my uncles didn't die, just the women. So I don't know what that was about, but whatever. But long story short, he's like, they all here. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. You can kill them all. Because I was upset and I was going through it. And that's what I was thinking in my head. Like, they died, they died. So he showed me all of them dead again. And I mean, there was not blood anywhere, just bodies everywhere in various positions. And it was kind of, no matter what, seeing your people unconscious in that position is crazy. And whether you're a kid or adult, it'll scar you for a little bit, if not for life. So that's what happened. He showed me that shit one more time. I woke back up, and when I tell you, everybody in that house was in that room with me. My grandma was holding me down, and my two aunts, and they was telling me to wake up. Apparently, I was screaming and throwing shit. I don't know what was going on, but I woke up. Now I ain't see that motherfucker for about 10 years. 10 years. And in those 10 years, my mom, she got her nursing degree. Everything got a little better, and it was cool. What's up? Yeah, go ahead. Yep, and then everything was going well, especially with my aunt. She had got a job in physical therapy, and I mean everything was going good. We finally got a house. Everything was fine. But my senior year of school, I had to go. Well, high school, I couldn't go back to like a magnet school type situation. I go to public school, which was cool. Still got a lot of friends and shit, but it was kind of hard dealing with people. Well, dealing with kids, especially after you already went over their curriculum in like elementary school. So I didn't do well in high school, and it got to my senior year, and it was getting a little hard because I don't care what was going on, I couldn't pay attention in class, and I was just bored. I already knew everything. I passed the test, but I just want to do the homework for any of the rest of the work, and that's what it was. So my senior year, they told me he like, bro, either you gonna have to drop out, you can get your GED, or take this online class. So I opted for the online classes at your own pace, and shit, if it's at your own pace, I can knock this out in a month. I'm getting 22 credits in 1 month. Graduated on time, and everything was fine. But before that happened, my all throughout my senior year, um, I wasn't sleeping well. I was worried about graduating. I didn't want to disappoint anybody. You know the regular stuff kids go through. And I think the week before I got my final credit in order to graduate, which is still a week before I had to graduate, cutting it close, that motherfucker showed up again. Now by then, I already was having lucid dreams. I already I done flew in my dreams and everything. Like I was ready. I could tell when I was in sleep or not. Like I don't say I was preparing for the shit, but I'm saying the way my life was going, the way life took off, shoot, it was fine. Like I had time to figure out how to control my dreams just a little bit. It wasn't like perfect because every once in a while I'll be flying good, and all of a sudden I'm falling all the way to hell, I guess. But he showed up again, and this is at like I don't know if people understand. Like high school is where you is one of the most stressful times of your life because you still don't know who you are. You're supposed to know who you are. They want you to go to college. They want you to do this. They want you to do that. Go to the military. People tell you date around or don't be a hoe. Just all types of just random things everybody expects from you going into adulthood. You still a child, which back then people still thought you were a child, but they wanted you to have grown up responsibilities and adult responsibilities. You gotta get out the house. You gotta find out where you're gonna live at. And I was just at the peak of stress. And see, I was emotional wreck. Um, I was lonely as hell. It just wasn't going too well. And he popped up in my dream one more time. And I told him, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but you gonna have to go about your business. I ain't got time for none of this shit. And he said, I'm gonna take you with me. And I was like, shit, come on, where are we going? Because at this point I was over life and everything like that. And then he said, I'm coming for the rest of them and I'm coming for your niece. And I was I was like, what the fuck? Like I just gave you myself and you just gonna take the rest of them? And I don't know if I was like suicidal or what. I don't know why the fuck I said that shit. It was just most. But yeah, they ain't had on the line. But nonetheless, they I know. But nonetheless, I told him like, bro, I'm tired of this shit. It's either me or you. And that at this time, he was inside my room. Finally had my own room, which I should have been grateful for. I had cable, everything. My room was fine, but he was in there. And when I tell you, my room I never kept a neat room or nothing like that, but my grandma, seeing I was depressed, she took it upon herself to clean my room for me. And he slowly started. He was in my doorway, and I was laying on my bed. He slowly just started walking in, knocking shit over. Now it's one thing to fuck up my shit, but my grandma put her life and soul to clean my room because it was a mess. I ain't gonna lie, and I was just too much of a wreck to even do anything. I was just riding away at that point. So that kind of pissed me off and shit. And I was like, "So what you want to do?" He was like, "What do you?" He didn't say what you want to do. It was more like, he's like, "You can't do anything." So I was like, "What the fuck?" So for some reason, I got a little scared because I ain't nobody. I'm a big dude. Ain't nobody ever told me I couldn't do shit for real, you know. But when I tell you that motherfucker ran up on me and he scared the fuck out of me, and we was tussling. I look, my punches wasn't even landing at first, but I had just went to church with my grandma. She said, "Holler to somebody hear you." So look, I took it in my head like I'm gonna have to fight into one of these punches here. Man, when I tell you, I wore that motherfucker out. And then at the end of the fucking day, I got him where I wanted him. I was on top of him. I had him, and this dude who looked just like my mom's ex boyfriend, and I was sick. We ain't seen this dude in about 6 years. 6 years. And the dude looked just like him. Behind all the mist, all the shadow, it looked just like him. And I couldn't help but cry though, because like at the end of the day, he was a evil person. He caused us, me and my family, the most trauma. Me and my nuclear family, the most trauma out of anybody. And some of the shit he did, I ain't gonna put on here, but man, please. I couldn't help but cry. I woke back up. I went to school the next day. That was a Thursday. So I went to school on that Friday. And I mean, I was sad the rest of the day. I'm thinking I was over it, um, what he done to us and everything like that, but I wasn't. And I got to school, and one of my counselor, who was one of my friend's moms, she was like, you gonna have to hurry up and get your cap and gown. And she told me I was graduating, so that kind of made my day. But man, it took me a while to get over that though. And it just goes to show you, sometimes you ain't healed from shit you. Sometimes the demons in your life is just stuff you ain't healed from. But no, I had to wear his ass out though. I won't let that shit go. All right, so I appreciate you.